You are born in London. Your birthplace is London. While you are a guest here in Hyderabad today, how do you relate these two historic cities?
One of the most interesting things about London in recent years is London has transformed into an immigrant megacity where nearly 40% were born abroad. People from all over Europe and Asia, the Americas and Africa have settled in London and made it their home, transforming almost every single aspect of life. And coming to India, I discovered that the great cities of India, including Hyderabad, are also immigrant megacities. And the figure that really stunned me was that 2 out of 5 Indians are internal migrants. And as I travelled around Hyderabad, I saw that people from Orissa and Bihar and other states are really transforming this city as well. And these two cities are linked because in the 21st century, this is the century of migration. It's the century of mobility. And be it in London or be it in Hyderabad, the politics of migration are going to define our age.
In your book, This is London, you dealt with multi-ethnic immigrants in great detail. So, does that idea of depiction came or born out of your own diverse background?
Well, firstly, I believe that outsiders have a unique view on society, and I deeply believe that only a stranger in a strange land, as the Hebrews were called in Egypt, can truly see that country for what it is. And it's not by any coincidence that outsiders such as Karl Marx, the German Jew in London, or Rousseau, the citizen of Geneva in Paris, are often the most creative people. And due to my own sort of immigrant heritage, my grandfather was a Jewish immigrant from Calcutta to England. Have a unique sense from that of what immigrant storytelling was, how fascinating the immigrant journey was, and how immigrants had an ability to truly see a society for what it is, unclouded and unencumbered by a lot of the ghosts of the past. With the book, what I wanted to show was how the new Londoners see London, how Londoners who are either super rich from Russia or super rich from Saudi Arabia or the super poor from Nigeria or from Romania were appreciating our city. And the story follows the arc of life. Every chapter is a different migrant's view on London, and it begins with arrival, because arrival as an immigrant to start a new life is a bit like birth, and then the book follows an arc ending in death, with people searching for jobs, people being made by London, turned into successes, people being crushed, people having children, people getting old, people looking back and people looking forward. And I wanted to use this book to show that London's not one place, that London is a whole world in one city.
And you are a writer in a globalized world, and you had the chance to travel to so many mega cities. So, what book you would recommend youngsters to read?
Well, I would recommend that youngsters avoid business books, avoid get-rich quick books, that they avoid 10 schemes to enable you to get filthy rich in a rising country, and they focus on the hard work, that they read the history, they read as much history as they can, you try and read at least 2 or 3 books a week if it's possible, and you also study novels and you use them to really try and understand human psyche and the human soul. But history, I think, is really extremely important, and I can't overstate the importance of reading history enough, especially in our age when there is friction and tension and clashes between ethnic groups and religions. I'd also suggest that people study political thinking and study sociology and study economics and really try and understand how our societies come together or how they fall apart. And it's absolutely critical that you read every day as many newspapers as you can, and you try and get information from Twitter, from Facebook, but also you have the apps to the New York Times, the FT, or newspapers from India. So you get the full format laid out there. You're not just following it on social media. One of the key pieces of advice that I would give people, especially in this climate, is make sure you're not reading fake news and pay attention to where your news is coming from. News is like food. Bad food will damage our digestive system, but reading bad news will damage our minds and the way we think and our ability to process information.
Okay, assume that you are writing a book on Hyderabad, and what kind of theme would generate curiosity in you?
Well, my initial thrill of being in Hyderabad is it reminds me of what it would have been like in Manchester or in Birmingham in the early 19th century, when these cities were suddenly built by a rush of immigration to the countryside. It was a gilded age. It was an age when the cities were built by a few families and dynasties. It was an age of extreme wealth and extreme poverty, and it was an age of creation and confusion. And I'd be fascinated to write and learn about this city. But I think that it's up to a native son to take on that challenge.
And would you also like to taste biryani before you leave Hyderabad?
I've actually already tasted biryani.
So how was the taste of it?
The taste was excellent, and I think we need to have more of it in London.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.